The battle at the ballot box, drawing big bucks from out-of-state donors. We're talking about Ohio's issue number 1. It would reduce penalties for using and possessing drugs like heroin, meth, and cocaine. Those charges would now become misdemeanors and not felonies, and that would mean no jail time or even prison time. And the money saved would go toward treatment programs, but not everyone thinks it's a good idea. 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll has been digging into this one. Scott, go ahead and break it down for us.
Well, Frank, no one disputes Ohio has a huge drug problem, and people on both sides of issue 1 agree more needs to be done to get people into treatment programs. But it's what happens next that sharply divided the two sides of this issue. To supporters of issue 1, prison is the problem.
Clearly, the war on drugs, mass incarceration approach to drug use has failed.
But opponents say this is a necessary tool in Ohio's fight against addiction.
You need a consequence, and issue 1 removes the consequences of you not taking advantage of treatment.
A yes vote would change the state constitution, banning jail or prison time for having or using drugs unless a person gets convicted 3 times in 24 months. The charges would also drop from felonies to misdemeanors. It's something the executive director of Ohio's ACLU calls a more compassionate approach.
It allows people the opportunity to get over the hurdles that they right now face in their life because of their drug addiction and move on with the rest of their life without a felony conviction hanging over their head.
But it also means no hammer hanging over a user's head. And that's something that worries the Chief Justice of Ohio's Supreme Court.
They'll say, well, there's sanctions that judges can use, that they can be put on probation. Okay, they're on probation. The judge can order treatment. Okay, the judge ordered treatment. The person's walking away from treatment or not cooperating with treatment. Okay, now what's the judge going to do? Bring you in, give you a lecture, and then you walk out?
Supporters estimate issue 1 will slash the number of people in prison, saving taxpayers $136 million a year. But we discovered similar law changes in California and Oklahoma resulted in a lot less in savings. $29 million in California, $63.5 million in Oklahoma, according to state estimates there. But a recent study found in California both rearrest and reconviction rates for drug offenses dropped after the law change. But not everyone's convinced changing the laws would mean a safer Ohio.
It is an epidemic, and lessening our drug laws and making them some of the most lax drug laws in this country is not the path.
But supporters insist now is the time for real change in Ohio's drug laws.
If the ability to give people harsher penalties and longer jail sentences, prison sentences would actually work, we wouldn't have this problem that we're in right now.
Difference between the two sides. Opponents point out this would be a constitutional amendment. That means only voters could make changes to the law if it doesn't work. Supporters say lawmakers had their chance to change things. That didn't happen, so now voters will have their shot in November. Live in the newsroom, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.
Thanks.